Hi there, and welcome to the Shards of Warren. This is an explanatory video for our new ability builder, specifically as it pertains to races. So in the version 3.0 system, you are allowed to create your own races after your third game. It goes through an editorial process, but just like other build options that you might create for your character, classes, trades, treasure, there is the ability to attach abilities to something. So if you go to this tab, if you're the creator, you'll see this all over the place. You get a nice little form. You can click this, and this will be the same for other build options. It'll just display different rules. So here we see that races grant abilities more slowly than other builds. It costs 3 times the normal amount of XP. There's a common misunderstanding here that you're somehow paying for your abilities, which isn't quite the case. Think of your character's XP as a ruler, and then set that against all of your build options. So you get all of the abilities for your race, all of the abilities for your class, and all of the abilities for your trade based on the amount of XP you've got. So this just means that races grant them more slowly, not that you're actually paying anything extra. You can't grant more than 300 XP worth of abilities in total. This is similar to version 2, where most race abilities capped out around level 8. We've increased it a little bit. It's now around level 10, which is what 300 is. A race has to grant exactly one passive, exactly one combat, and exactly one narrative ability, but you can upgrade them without exceeding that limit. I'll show you that in a second. The idea here is that your race is excellent flavor and does have some significance to every different style of play, but it's not the end-all be-all. Obviously, your class is going to matter more than your race. And then one last thing, which is a new addition, race abilities must be added in order of ability level. This is just to prevent you from building something sort of clunky, maybe sort of min-maxy, where your race is granting like a level 7 ability, and then later on it grants a level 1 or 2 ability. That doesn't seem to make a lot of sense, so this is going to force you to do it. So, getting into the meat of it, here is where the ability list is going to appear as we're building it. Here is where you select the abilities that you want, and it comes with these handy little filters. I've already figured out what I want to build into the dwarf race package, but you can see there are a ton of options. I think that when I did an initial pass through, compiling all of the different ability options, there were over 5,000. So you won't see all of them here. That's because this form will only show you valid next editions. So everybody's going to ignore that. I'm going to highlight it so you actually read it. Only valid editions are shown. If you don't see an ability on this list, doesn't mean the ability doesn't exist. It means the ability is not something that you can pick yet, or at all, for this build option. So, in this case, mathematically speaking, you're never going to be able to start with an ability higher than level 5 because you'd never be able to actually meet the rules for building your race. So your first pick has got to be at least level 5 or below. In this case, I've already made the decision that dwarves are going to get deflect. Everybody likes deflect. It was kind of their bread and butter before. So you can use these filters to dynamically show only the things you want. Now, we could give them a shield deflect, and that's actually slightly lower level because it's more restrictive, but, you know, it was one of those nice things about being a dwarf in version 2 that I think everybody enjoyed, that a dwarf could deflect and didn't have to be using a shield. So we're going to give them self-deflect. Still means they have to block with something, obviously. So you can see that the ability was added. It's now in the form. It'll show you the level that it was gained at. And this is important because if you want to aim for specific things at specific points in a build progression, you can see that if I click any of these next ones, like if I wanted to adapt climate party, then I would get gained at level 3.3. And that's based on if it was the next choice here. So, again, I need to have one passive, one combat, and one narrative ability. Let's give them their narrative ability. They always had Commune Earth. Everybody likes Commune Earth. Let's grab that. Again, gets added to the list, shows you when it's available in the build. You'll notice that as I'm adding things, there's this little X if I want to remove an ability. I tried to program this such that it was the end-all be-all. You could drag and drop things. It would let you know when there were issues. I ended up crashing the browser so many times I gave up on that. So you're building things one at a time. You can remove the end of the list and step yourself backward and continue to build from there. But as far as making midstream changes, it's going to be difficult. So if you don't mind doing the a la carte approach, and this is better for the non-power gamers because you don't really need to understand, you just, pick what you want next off of this list, and you can continue picking off of the list until you've filled out the build progression. As far as the people who are going to try to optimize and get that 10th level ability right at level 10, you're probably going to have a hard time, and I apologize. I tried to do it a different way. So we know that they've got Commune Earth. Now, here's something that'll get people excited. I wanted to give them free deflect, which is deflect at will in the new system. Slightly lower level than it was before, but you can also filter by what's an upgrade. So this is meeting with that rule that I showed you a second ago, where you can have only one combat ability, but because we're upgrading a previous combat ability, you still only have one at a time. It's just that once a dwarf hits around level 6, that deflect becomes free. Kind of nice, huh? All right, and so we've also got Immune Maim. I had trouble finding an appropriate level passive, but I feel like this is going to suit them pretty well, especially since it wasn't available in the old system. Sort of a dwarven hardiness, as you will. They have thick bones. Maybe they have like stone bones or something, and at some point it becomes impossible to chop off their limbs. Now, I don't have any other available options that are valid because I've already reached the cap, more or less. I'm a little bit below, but there's nothing that's going to be lower than level 7 that'll fit there, and I've already filled out all of my combats, narratives, and passives. So, don't forget to name things. That would be my advice. Naming, you can build these without naming them, and that's all fine and dandy. Let's call this Dwarven Durability, just for the nonce. You can get away with not naming them, but that's boring. Seriously, this is the flavor text. This is what explains what's going on. This is what gives real character to the ability. It's like saying, I'm a human paladin, or, I'm Thalanir Lestral. There's a difference there. One is kind of the mechanics, the guts of it, but you want some fluff, so don't forget the names. They're really important. I can hit Save Names, ability name saved, and then on the front end, you'll see this appear at the bottom of the race entry. Same stuff, same order, tells people what they get, and later on it will be used to add to the character who picks this race. Easy? Should be, hopefully. Hope you guys like it. Let me know if you have any questions.